Morning, Sunday the 24th of January, and this is absolutely stunning Glasgow Cathedral. I'm in Cathedral Precinct just now, and if you ever get a chance, if you've not been to see that, you need to visit that because it's absolutely stunning inside. The building of Glasgow Cathedral began in 1136 and took about 350 years to finish. The stone used in this building was quarried from the site where Queen Street Station sits today. It is the oldest cathedral in mainland Scotland and the oldest building in Glasgow. This here is the David Livingstone statue. This here is a van making a lot of noise as it's driving past. This statue here is the David Livingstone statue. Born March 19th, 1813, died May 1st, 1873. 60 years old, lived such a life, fascinating man. He's buried in Westminster Abbey, but his heart will always be in Africa. Today I'm going to cycle along National Cycle Network number 75 towards Bothwell and Uddingston to see what I can see along the way. And that there's Provin's Lordship, oldest house in Glasgow. It's just been had cladding put on the front yet, looks well smart. And that'll be opening up to the public soon. From here I head down High Street and Salt Market to Glasgow Green to head east on the National Cycle Network route 75. Well, that's stunning. That's Clyde tidal weir, and I believe down there to the left is where the Mollendiner burn runs into the Clyde. The Clyde tidal weir is an important part of Glasgow's infrastructure network and is essential to maintaining the water level of the River Clyde. It is a unique B-listed weir and bridge structure that has three large steel sluice gates that can be raised or lowered depending on the tide and river conditions. This stabilises the upstream banking of the River Clyde by maintaining a fixed water level, creating a deep, wide channel of water through Glasgow Green. There's a rich habitat for a range of fish, birds and otters, as well as space for the rowing clubs that are based in the boathouse. National Cycle Route 75 goes almost straight across the central belt of Scotland, from Leith in Edinburgh to Tarbet in the Cuningar Peninsula, and with a really big chunk of it being off-road, it's quite user-friendly. Today I'm going to explore the section from Glasgow to Uddingston, looking at some points of interest along the way and ending my journey at the birthplace of David Livingstone. Looking underneath Kilmarnock Bridge just now. That's the Athletes Legacy Village from Commonwealth Games 2013. And at the other side of the Clyde, the Cuningar Loop. Cuningar Loop is an exciting woodland park on the banks of the River Clyde. The park was created on a disused site that had been used for reservoirs, quarrying and then landfill. You can enjoy a stroll along the riverside boardwalk or forest trails. The park has Scotland's first outdoor bouldering park that is designed to introduce new climbers to the sport whilst also providing challenges for the more experienced. A couple of boulders also have features to allow for para-climbing. There are over 3 miles of paths on mixed surfaces which are accessible to everyone, and there is plenty of seating along the routes. This 23.5 metre Hope sculpture is by Stuart Padwick and is part of a series of free art installations in Glasgow. The monumental Hope sculpture features a child reaching out to a greener, hopeful future. The child stands above the towering, 20 metre high columns that take their form from the brick chimney stacks that once littered the east end of Glasgow. Yeah, so the Clyde tidal weir's a couple of miles down the road, a couple of miles down the water there. But around about here is where the ordinary spring tides would have flown before the weir was built.
That's a nice path, a wee bit bumpy. I'm kind of near a whisky bond, but every time I'm near somewhere where they store the whisky, the trees are always, the bark trunks are always black like this. I wonder why that is. So I'm coming up to Carmyle soon, and then you've got the Carmyle Viaduct. Morning. Carmyle Viaduct, which so I'm going to just nip back and correct myself. I should have crossed over the last bridge back to Blan. That's better. Aye, so there's a weir just on my left in the Clyde, and on my right over here it's quite an interesting place. I'll show you some drone footage in it. Going over last year. It's where they train the firemen, so training facility with loads of different scenarios set up. Looks great on the drone, so it does. And that's the Carmyle Viaduct there.
Westbank Viaduct, also known as Carmyle Viaduct, is a disused railway bridge over the River Clyde between Carmyle and Glasgow on the north side and Westburn near Cambuslang. It is constructed of a steel lattice frame with sandstone pillars and has 3 main spans over the water. The bridge was constructed in 1897 as part of the Glasgow Central Railway between Carmyle and Newton stations and linked to the Rutherglen and Coatbridge Railway. The passenger train services using the bridge ended in 1964, although freight services, mostly serving Clyde Bridge Steelworks and Clyde Ironworks, continued until 1983 when those facilities ceased operating. The bridge was officially closed and fenced off, although for some years it was still accessible to pedestrians determined enough to overcome the barriers. After gang disorder involving youth from Westburn and Carmyle escalated into serious violence in 2012, the barriers were further reinforced to prevent the bridge from being used by the youths to approach their rivals' territory. Between 2013 and 2015, a project to add illumination to the bridge developed with input by pupils from local schools in an effort to build bonds between the communities on either side of the bridge. In early 2021, Strand, Scotland announced a project to refurbish the bridge as a walking and cycling route across the river, inviting consultation from the locals, with some residents on both sides objecting to the plans due to the recent history of violence associated with the route being accessible for rival youths. That's a busy bit of road, so I'll just use the pavement here. I do think this road, when the this cycle route was first created, I believe this road would have been a wee bit quieter than what it is today.
And the only reason it's probably quiet just now is because it's Sunday morning. Is it closed?
You can't get through.
Alright.
Working on it. Just
Right,
so
thanks very much. That's why it's so quiet. Ah, that's a terrible road.
Not far from here is Blantyreferme anti-aircraft battery. It was a World War II anti-aircraft battery and was sited here at Blantyreferme near Blantyre in the southeast of Glasgow, and was part of the Clyde anti-aircraft defences. The battery had 4 emplacements armed with 4.5-inch guns from 1942 to 1943. Then it was re-equipped with 3.7-inch guns till 1945. It comprised of a command post, magazine, gun store and other support buildings with an accommodation camp located to the east. Records indicate the latter addition of 2 further emplacements. A GL radar mat lay to the northwest of the site, reported to operate Mark II radar in 1942-43. Astonishingly, the guns here had a reach of 32,000 feet.
Yeah, you want in there, pal?
Can I use the cycle lane? It's just there.
Pal.
I'll wait till he's at the way.
There you go.
Thanks very much.
No problem.
So glad this wee bit's here. I looked at this on Google Maps the other day there and I thought this is just a pointless wee bit. It saved me from a lot of hassle there. Excellent. It's like 100 yards or 200 yards of cycle lane just to cut out the junction over there where the guys are having a laugh.
This is the disused railway viaduct that was completed in 1849 and its replacement the Uddingston Viaduct that was completed in 1878. The replacement was needed due to an increase in rail traffic at the time, and they both sit side by side and carry the West Coast Main Line over the River Clyde. These viaducts are located 500 metres west of Uddingston Station.
Right, so I'm in at Uddingston now. I've not been on this bit in a few years, so interested to see the memories come back. Oh. I remember this street. What a yelp. Right, 75. I seen 74 in brackets there and that's what I'm looking for. So, aye. So I'll go left here for 75, straight ahead for 74. Morning. 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 Right, double back on myself a wee bit. This is me now at Bothwell Castle.
I had to take a little detour down this way just to check out Bothwell Castle because I've never been here before and I've always wanted to see it. Bothwell Castle is a large medieval castle sited on a high, steep bank above a bend in the River Clyde. It is located between Bothwell and Uddingston, about 10 miles southeast of Glasgow. Construction of the castle began in the 13th century by the ancestors of Clan Murray to guard a strategic crossing point of the Clyde. Bothwell played a key role in Scotland's wars of independence, changing hands several times.
This is some bridge. Just at this side of the bridge is a wee bench saying take some breathing space. Samaritans.
The David Livingstone Birthplace Museum in Blantyre is dedicated to the life and work of the explorer and missionary David Livingstone. The museum is operated by the David Livingstone Trust and is housed in a Category A listed building, often referred to as Shuttle Row. The museum rests on the grounds of the David Livingstone birthplace. On the 16th of February 1844, whilst in South Africa, Livingstone joined the Mabotsa villagers defending their sheep herds, as lions often attacked the sheep that belonged to the villagers. Livingstone got a clear shot at a large lion, but while he was reloading, it attacked, crushing his left arm and forcing him to the ground. His life was saved by Mabel, a local schoolmaster who diverted its attention by trying to shoot the lion. He too got bitten, and another villager who tried spearing it was also attacked just before the lion dropped dead. This fascinating statue depicting those events sits on the grounds. It was designed by special effects pioneer Ray Harryhausen of Jason and the Argonauts fame and sculpted and cast by Gareth Knowles. And that's about it for my cycle today. I had a great time cycling this route and had an excellent time making this video. I hope you've enjoyed it nearly as much as me. Thanks for watching and see you next time.
Drone just follows me, so let's see. Stopped it for a second because I've passed that woman about 3 times and I don't want to spook her. Sun meter. You're a bit too keen there.